to all who celebrate and to all who don't celebrate. And yeah, I got tired of the fucking bass music for this game. It's irritating and grating. So there's this really cool YouTube channel that does like instrumental covers of communist music. It's called Spirit of the Revolution. So that's what we're bumping tonight. Why? Because I'm a fucking LARPer. That's why. Need a fucking bridge. You know what? Fuck you too then. Oh, sunken railway line. There we go. What you can't put above ground, put above underground. Save us some space. Alright, so we got plenty of timber. Pretty sure we've got some oil. fucking bridge. A tunnel. Ah, fuck it, I'll landscape that later. Nobody got moitered. His fucking head just did that. What moiter? If you guys don't know where that comes from, the Italians in New York City and New Jersey rioted when John Gotti was found guilty. Because he was like their guy. John Gotti was like the Martin Luther King of Italians, I guess. And they were highly upset when their boy got locked up. So, yeah, they trashed the courthouse and the area around the courthouse. You can't lock up John Gotti. You can only lock up the fucking Munyan. He didn't do nothing. He was a fucking community icon. He was like our Al Sharpton. You let the Munyan do whatever they want, but you torment Luigi. Why? Because he's Italian? Because his name ends with a vowel? I do think a lot of the, like, racial aspect of Luigi and why people responded like they did to him is severely overblown. People who peaked in college looking for, I don't know, looking for some meaning to their pitiful little lives. But those types of people, and yes, he definitely would have been treated different were he black or Chinese, but I think people just like finding shit to make themselves miserable and angry about. He did a good thing. He opened up a necessary conversation. More power to him. Luigi the Squeegee. Luigi the Squeegee. So this map is actually like a really old desert city from in Mauritania. Pretty neat. I really wish they had fixed the river so that I could actually cross the motherfucker. Oh well. Guess it's time to demonstrate the power of Maoist civil engineering. No. There's already a bridge across. I'm dumb. I'm real fucking dumb. I don't know. Maybe it's just a demonstration that Americans respond very well to adventurism. They're not going to go to a study group, but they will definitely blow somebody's head off. What a special country. What a special people. Healthcare blows everywhere in the United States. That's nothing new. But whatever opens up a discussion, I'm not going to begrudge it. I'm not a petty person, and neither should you be. That's what I think a lot of this bullshit originates from. People are just fucking petty. A pretty Art Deco crematorium. Le Coeur. The Burnout Brothers. Yes, I did see the ridiculous finger wagging from the news. What are you doing watching the fucking news anyway? I get my news from Twitter like a good Musk cultist. I'm not even bothering to change the names of all these streets. My ADHD forbids it. God, that piano sounds horrible. Buddy needs to mix his shit better. Say overlapping items one more time. Your coworkers have coworker politics? Alright, let's see what type of specialized industries we can focus on. Okay, plenty of farms. Here we go. Yeah, most people watch the news. Unfortunately. Not everybody gets their news from streamers. Oh, son of a fuck. I've got a fix for that. I'm gonna play Workers and Resources one of these fucking days. You fuck do you mean distance too long? This is why I hate playing mods and maps that motherfuckers make. They don't know what the fuck they're doing. Oh. Fuck. There. Is there any way I can make it look like the Golden Gate Bridge? I'm trying to build a bridge across the river so I can connect these fucking power grids and shit. This is a pain in my fucking... Will this work? Maybe I should have started up here. Oh, I know why. Pretty sure it's because of those fucking shipping lanes. Well, guess over there I'll have to wait until I find out what's going on with this irritating fucking thing. No, there is no plan how I'm laying out these roads. Most cities weren't planned that way. Man, I don't have time for this. Let's check in on a few other cities I've been working on. Let's return to Luigiville. Bearded Redguard. Oh, wow. The Serb is impressed by my beard. Lovely. The Serb has a goatee. Beautiful taste. Ooh, baby, what are you doing? Inin tako'y maladoy, hey, dolila tabi-dadi. Oh, a flood. Billy Woods? I'm certain there's quite a few people named Billy Woods. Be more specific. I don't know. What is that waiting for an ambulance here? Did somebody fall in and drown? Yeah, I guess somebody fell in the fucking river and drowned. They shouldn't have been playing up there. They're doing whatever they were doing. We don't want fires. Let's do something about that. There we go. This is Japanese medium density housing. There's a variety of like sets you can use. I downloaded the French, the German, the general EU, and British. Pretty dope. No, there are no caves in this city, so there is no Serbian housing, unfortunately. I'm very sorry. Oops. I didn't fuck this up nearly as bad as I thought it would be. Look at the view over these hills. Yeah, the hills will not let me make grids in this game. Believe me, I wanted to so bad. The American in me is hurting. Hurting bad. Yeah, the grids are for the flatlands. In the hills, you gotta be creative. You're gonna have a lot of bridges and other such things. Bridges and tunnels and shit. Still, it's quite aesthetic. Look at all the snow. Very comfy looking. Very festive. Almost looks like a less fucked up Soviet city. Oh, Canada. Don't worry, you don't have to use Maoist standard English here. I don't own a Santa hat. Why is there a fucking flood? Oh. I don't know why the fucking snow is making the river fat. Well, it could always be worse. You could always be in the U.S. For some reason, every Canadian that I know is obsessed with the U.S. and wants to move here. I do not know why. In the meantime, you got American liberals that want to move to Canada. Why don't we just swap populations? Like, why exactly would you want to... Like, what the fuck would you want to come here for? There's nothing here. I do not have a red Newsport cap. Oh! Literal car fire. You fuckers need to learn how to drive. He is in the hospital. I think he has the flu or something, but with him being 100 million years old, he might not make it. He might not make it. I'd start a new city, but fuck that. Let's see what else there is. I literally play the same fucking 3 games over and over and over again. Bashar's wife is leaving him? No, I did not see that. Kremlin denies reports Assad's wife has filed for divorce. So that probably means that she has. Knowing Russian news. The British-born wife... Oh, he married a Brit. Typical. Of deposed Syrian President Bashar al-Assad is not seeking a divorce, a Kremlin spokesperson has said. Reports in Turkish media have suggested that Asma al-Assad wants to end her marriage and leave Russia. I don't blame her for that one, when she and her husband were granted asylum after a rebel coalition overthrew the former president's regime and took control of Damascus. Huh. I don't blame her for wanting to leave Russia. I mean, if I, as a black person, ended up in fucking Russia, I would not be very happy either. But reports in Turkish media on Sunday Suggested the Assads were living under severe restrictions in the Russian capital. Huh. Fascinating. David Lammy. What the fuck type of name is that? Let's see what else I can find to play. It's all he has fucking piano noise. God, shut the fuck up. You butchered that song. Some of his shit is better than this. His later shit is better. There we go. There we go. That's dope. This piano after piano after poorly rendered piano. It's a headache. So, Civ 7 isn't coming out until February 11th. I can't wait because I'm sick of old-ass Civ 6. But that's what we got. Alright, enough, Ganook. She looks kind of like a Middle Eastern Princess Diana with bigger teeth. Do I know the... No, I do not know the title of that fantasy book. I'm sorry. You could save her. Of course you could. I already have it. Thank you, though. Since the last great power I read about was Russia, I guess I should play as the Russians. Peter the Great. Peter the torture your son and ban beards. Yeah, I didn't know he did that. Not all that up on pre-Soviet Russian history.
From the first stirrings of life beneath water to the great.
And I guess he did ban beards. He doesn't have one.
To man
Russian without a beard.
First upright steps, you have come far. Now begins your greatest quest. From this
It is.
cradle of
And the American theme for Civ 7 is dope. It might actually give me the play as the Americans again.
Embrace the chill winds of the motherland, Tsar Peter. Your fascination.
Yeah, I didn't tell you to move there. Actually, I did. Otherwise, it would be moving there. I don't see why people get mad at computers. They're machines. They don't do shit besides what you tell them. Squat there. You're playing as a white leader. Dr. Umar does not shine brightly on you today, BRG. Hey, I'm an objectivist. There are plenty of new African leaders to choose. Not new African, black. I don't know why I started using that term. Hipster shit. There are plenty of black leaders to play as. Well, I started using the term New African because I am a New African. I'm literally the descendant of a variety of African ethnic groups that were amalgamated through slavery into an entirely new one. In addition to plenty of colonizer rape blood, but it's best not to talk about that.
I thought Clay must feel happy.
I researched Salem because Peter, if I recall correctly, was kind of obsessed with ships. Jesus was the exception. He's special. It's his birthday tomorrow. Where'd you guys get Jesus for his birthday? It's actually not his birthday. Jesus was born in fall, but don't tell them that.
It is not that life is short.
I don't think any of you know when Jesus was born. Were you guys there? Hmm? You can't be because there were 3 wise men there, and I don't think any of you bastards are particularly wise. You're a pagan. Ooh, never met a white pagan before. So unique. So brave. I worship the All-Father, Faye says. I actually find pagan traditions pretty interesting. But I find the people that practice such in the year 2024, just... most of them are rebelling because they were raised in extremely restrictive Protestant or Catholic households. I have no problem with white people embracing the religions of their ancestors. I just hope they do it right.
Look back over the past.
The 3 wise men were Zoroastrian, Magi, whatever. Who the fuck is Jarillo? Why are you all educating me about all these weird people? Jarillo. That sounds like a Mexican soda. Is that some pagan Slavic god or something? I know what Jarillo is. You're wise enough to not walk through a desert to go give gifts to some baby you don't know. Well, guess you're damned to hell then. I'm not going to look up Jarillo. It's probably something scary. I know about Volos. Fuck off, Ginger. Before I go roaming on your ass.
Dogs in heaven.
Oh, I am the ancestor of the French.
Without craftsmanship.
Jarillo, Slavic god of spring, powerful sexual energy, symbol of dying, regeneration, and abundance. That sounds pretty gay, bruh. I look him up and he's just gonna be a giant dick. Our ancestors worshipped giant penis. Oh god. Oh, I hate her so much. Fucking Scythians.
Every nation lives
Hopefully they keep away, but they won't. He's a Pict. He's actually a Gaul. Same blood, though. A really handsome Slavic man. So basically the opposite of you. Okay.
Mysticism is the mistake of an
All Slavic men are kings. I don't know, I thought Slavs were in the habit of executing their kings.
Pensi ați vengut la Curdalienu, duchesa de Chitania, reina consorts de France.
Oj, Aminatur.
I told the fucking Gauls to come just settle right next to me. Fucking French. I build the city next to you. Now you will have no option but to accept our feu gras. Kings of what? Dirt.
A strong economy begins with a strong...
It would be funny if Eliphazar's wife was actually leaving him. I would not blame her in the slightest. Let's see what else I have to listen to. Sorry, but I'm leaving you for Keir Starmer's. He has power, you do not. I don't want to see my videos. You were sleeping during the outbreak of World War III. Fascinating.
We interrupt this program. This is a national emergency. Important instructions will follow. The National Primary EAS system has issued a national emergency. action notification for the continental United States. This station has interrupted its regular program at the request of the U.S. government to participate in the emergency broadcast system. This is not a test. The National Primary EAS system has issued a National Emergency Action Notification for the continental United States. This station has interrupted its regular program at the request of the U.S. government to participate in the emergency broadcast system. This is not a test.
The following message is being delivered at the direction of the United States government. This is an attack warning. I repeat, this is an attack warning. An attack warning indicates that an attack on this country has been identified and that protective measures should be initiated. NORAD has detected the launch of 6 nuclear missiles. It has been verified that these missiles are directed towards the continental United States. This is not a test. It is anticipated that these missiles will be armed with nuclear warheads. Since the targets are unknown at this time, all civilians in the United States are highly encouraged to remain calm and seek underground refuge. Make sure you have enough non-perishable canned meals and drinkable water for the next 14 days. When the threat is passed, an all-clear siren will sound. The all-clear siren will sound like an air raid siren. Once the all-clear siren is heard, it is permissible to go outdoors. Do not try to evacuate until you hear the all-clear siren. Radiation levels will be lethal. This broadcast shall deliver authenticated news and information on the situation to the American people in order to maintain transparency. NORAD is putting in a continuous effort to determine the missile's targets. The U.S. National Missile Defense System is currently being deployed to protect the country from incoming missiles. The Russian Federation has launched a nuclear strike against NATO states, triggering NATO Article 5 response. An attack on one is deemed an attack on all. The President of the United States, alongside with NATO allies, has authorized a counterattack comprising the launch of intercontinental ballistic missiles targeting critical Russian targets. This will paralyze the aggressor, preventing a nuclear retaliatory strike. This is a national emergency. American lives are in danger. Remain calm and seek underground safety as quickly as
Y'all actually think this shit is real?
The United States government
My
is
God.
doing all necessary to defend.
No, it's like this weird little ambiance thing I found. It's pretty neat.
This is a follow-up to the previously issued National Emergency Action Notification. Potential targets have been identified by NORAD/US Northcom. 6 incoming intercontinental ballistic missiles are expected to strike the United States in about 15 minutes. All citizens residing within 100 miles of military bases, major industrial centers, and key infrastructures such as power plants, dams, and water reservoirs in California, Nebraska, Pennsylvania, Ohio, Texas, and the District of Columbia. If you reside in any of the potential targeted states, seek underground shelter now. This is an attack warning. Seek refuge before countdown ends. It is too late to evacuate. Relocate to a basement or underground room on the ground.
See, this is what happens when you take drugs.
Stand away
You're
from
confused.
windows, doors,
You
and
actually thought that there was about to be a fucking
Make
nuclear
as
war?
much
Oh my
space
God.
as possible between yourself and the outside world. Carry a battery-powered radio with you to use throughout your stay at the shelter. Do not leave your shelter until it has been deemed safe. You will be exposed to radioactive fallout if you leave. Fallout is a result of nuclear explosions. Sustained exposure can result in illness or death.
Are you going to play
Keep an eye
GTA 6
on
when it's
local
released? Of
media
course I
for
will.
further updates.
This station has interrupted their normal programming to participate in the activation of the emergency alert system. This is not a test. I repeat, this is not a test. A major power outage has been reported in the following states: California, Oregon, Nevada, Washington, Idaho, Wyoming, Utah, Colorado, Arizona, New Mexico, and Montana. The outage is affecting the whole Western Interconnection power grid. Cyber attacks against the United States have been prevalent in the recent hours, and while the federal government is investigating this, we ask all residents affected by this outage to stay indoors. Please use battery-operated flashlights in the dark. Candles are highly discouraged since they are a fire hazard. Keep refrigerator and freezer doors closed as possible. Federal and state governments are now working with FEMA to correct the problem and to restore power as soon as possible.
I could definitely troll my coworkers with this shit.
This is not a test. The North American Aerospace Defense Command has detected the launch of 4 missiles. These missiles are believed to be carrying a nuclear warhead and is expected to hit Honolulu, San Francisco, Los Angeles and Vancouver within the next 15 to 25 minutes. This is an attack warning. I repeat, this is an attack warning. An attack warning indicates that an actual attack on the United States has been detected and that immediate protective measures should be taken. All residents of Honolulu, San Francisco, and Los Angeles should seek out a fallout shelter as soon as possible. If such a shelter is not available in your location, seek refuge in a basement or interior room on the lowest level of a sturdy structure. Take a battery-powered radio for use during your stay in the shelter. Do not leave your shelter until it is declared safe to do so. If you leave your shelter, you may be exposing yourself to radioactive fallout. Fallout is a byproduct of nuclear explosions. Prolonged exposure to fallout may result in sickness or death. If someone dies as a result of the fallout, remove the body outside of the inner shelter and place it on the other side of the room. If possible, cover it with a blanket or fabric. After 14 days, you will be able to take the body outdoors and properly dispose of it. Pets should be euthanized. They require further resources, which you cannot afford to waste. Take your pets outside and euthanize them as carefully as possible. After 14 days...
Oh, they want me to kill my fucking dogs?
When it is safe to go outdoors, radios will notify you. Do not go outdoors unless you are told to. Fallout sticks to clothes, and stepping outdoors puts you and your family in danger.
This station has interrupted their normal programming to participate in the activation of the emergency alert system. This is not a test. I repeat, this is not a test. A major power outage has been reported in the following states: California, Oregon, Nevada, Washington, Idaho, Wyoming, Utah, Colorado, Arizona, New Mexico, and Montana. The outage is affecting the whole Western Interconnection power grid. Cyber attacks against the United States have been prevalent in the recent hours, and while the federal government is investigating this, we ask all residents affected by this outage to stay indoors. Please use battery-operated flashlights in the dark. Candles are highly discouraged since they are a fire hazard. Keep refrigerator and freezer doors closed as possible.
It's not Ireland, it's Gaul.
Governments are now working with FEMA to correct the problem and to restore power as soon as possible.
Somebody had already discovered Eastern Orthodoxy, so I developed communism instead as my religion. No, I changed it. I've been playing Skylines 2 all fucking day. Don't worry, I'm changing it. There, all fixed.
We interrupt this program. This is a national emergency. Important instructions will follow. The National Primary EAS system has issued a National Emergency Action Notification for the continental United States. This station has interrupted its regular program at the request of the U.S. government to participate in the emergency broadcast system. This is not a test. The National Primary EAS system has issued a National Emergency Action Notification for the continental United States. This station has interrupted its regular program at the request of the U.S. government to participate in the emergency broadcast system. This is not a test.
The following message is being delivered at the direction of the United States government. This is an attack warning. I repeat, this is an attack warning. An attack warning indicates that an attack on this country has been identified and that protective measures should be initiated. NORAD
Yay!
has detected the launch of 6 nuclear missiles. It has been verified that these missiles are directed towards the continental United States. This is not a test. It is anticipated that these missiles will be armed with nuclear warheads. Since the targets are unknown at this time, all civilians in the United States are highly encouraged to remain calm and seek underground refuge.
Guess
Make
Posadas
sure
was
you have
right.
enough non-perishable canned meals and drinkable water for the next 14 days. When the threat is passed, an all-clear siren will sound. The all-clear siren will sound like an air raid siren. Once the all-clear siren is heard, it is permissible to go outdoors. Do not try to evacuate until you hear the all-clear siren.
What if I want to turn into a ghoul?
Will be lethal. This broadcast shall deliver authenticated news and information on the situation to the American people in order to maintain transparency. NORAD is putting in a continuous effort to determine the missile's targets. The U.S. National Missile Defense System is currently being deployed to protect the country from incoming missiles. The Russian Federation has launched a nuclear strike against NATO states, triggering NATO Article 5 response. An attack on one is deemed an attack on all. The President of the United States, alongside with NATO allies, has authorized a counterattack comprising the launch of intercontinental ballistic missiles targeting critical Russian targets. This will paralyze the aggressor, preventing a nuclear retaliatory strike. This is a national emergency. American lives are in danger. Remain calm and seek underground safety as quickly as possible. The United States government is doing all necessary to defend.
We're liberating America by launching nuclear warheads at it?
This is a follow-up to the previously issued
That's...
National Emergency Action Notification. Potential targets have been identified by NORAD/US Northcom. 6 incoming intercontinental ballistic missiles are expected to strike the United States in about 15 minutes. All citizens residing within 100 miles of military bases, major industrial centers, and key infrastructures such as power plants, dams, and water reservoirs in California, Nebraska, Pennsylvania, Ohio, Texas, and the District of Columbia. If you reside in any of the potential targeted states, seek underground shelter now. This is an attack warning. Seek refuge before countdown ends. It is too late to evacuate. Relocate to a basement or underground room on the ground level of a sturdy building. Stand away from windows, doors, and exterior walls. Make as much space as possible between yourself and the
Just tuck your head
world.
between your legs and kiss your ass goodbye.
Radio with you to use throughout your
What's my
day.
opinion on the Zoran for New York City campaign? Do I think he could actually win? Yeah, I support it. I've watched like pretty much all of his campaign materials, and honestly, I think that New York would be pretty well receptive to a DSA mayor. Actually, New York City has actually already had a DSA mayor, David Dinkins. Of course, this was back when they were basically the left wing of the Democratic Party, like literally. But yeah, I think New York City is ready for Zoran. If I were up there, I would vote for him. Seems to not be full of shit, and I haven't heard any like horrible tea on him. So yeah, hope he gets it. What are my thoughts on Trump indicating he wants an invasion of Panama to control the canal? I mean, considering he also wants to seize Greenland for some reason, and some of his stands on Twitter are talking about an invasion of Canada and Mexico at the same time. Yeah, typical bullshit. Will he do these things? Probably not. But it's raw meat for his audience.
The following message is being transmitted at the request of the Canadian government. This is not a test. The United States Department of Homeland Security relayed information to the Canadian government that Russian troops have invaded Alaska. Multiple Russian vessels were identified across the Bering Sea and the Pacific Ocean by the Canadian Armed Forces at 8 p.m. Pacific Time, with some landing on the coast and some stationed around 40 nautical miles off the coast of Alaska. Russian forces are said to have taken control of Anchorage, Alaska's capital, and is now headed to the Canadian-United States border. All residents receiving this broadcast are advised to do the following. Stay indoors as a precaution. Turn off all heating and air conditioning systems, and cover all cracks on doors and windows with tape, moist clothes, or damp towels to avoid exposure to probable chemical or biological weapons, since Russian troops are likely to have such weapons. Along the border, the Canadian Air Force and NATO forces have been reinforced. The Canadian government is putting out every effort to limit this threat to a bare minimum. Continue to monitor media outlets or visit for the latest news and information.
How come I'm not talking? Because I'm fucking locked in. That's why.
The activation of the emergency alert system.
Kenny Correa cheated on his wife.
This is not a test. A major power outage has been reported in the following states: California, Oregon, Nevada, Washington, Idaho, Wyoming, Utah, Colorado, Arizona, New Mexico, and Montana. The outage is affecting the whole Western
You all like
Interconnection
idle
Power
chit-chat,
Grid.
I'm sorry.
Cyber attacks against the United States have been prevalent in the recent hours, and while the federal government is investigating this, we ask all residents affected by this outage to stay indoors. Please use battery-operated flashlights in the dark. Candles are highly discouraged since they are a fire hazard. Keep
Oh, light all the
refrigerators and
candles.
freezer doors closed as possible. Federal and state governments are now working with FEMA to correct the problem and to restore power as soon as possible.
You thought I was possessed by what? Gene don't live in the United States. Habibi, you have been eaten by the gene. They are in your soul, Habibi. You thought I was possessed. Aww. Such concern for BRG's welfare. What do you know about St. Louis, Naheed? Have you been here? It wouldn't be Russia without serfdom. I am developing my entire mind, body, and spirit to the pursuit of glory and the expansion of Russia. Ah, these people are so fucking cheap. You seek to exploit the Russian people. You've never been to America. What are you, like Yemeni or something? I like Yemenis. Very stalwart and stone-hearted comrades.
This is an attack warning. I repeat, this is an attack warning. An attack warning indicates that an actual attack on the United States has been detected and that immediate protective measures should be taken. All residents of Honolulu, San Francisco, and Los Angeles should seek out a fallout shelter as soon as possible. If such a shelter is not available in your location, seek refuge in a basement or interior room on the lowest level of a sturdy structure. Take a battery-powered radio for use during your stay in the shelter. Do not leave your shelter until it is declared safe to do so. If you leave your shelter, you may be exposing yourself to radioactive fallout.
It's okay, I don't blame you for not wanting to come here, Naheed.
Explosions. Prolonged
It's really not all it's
exposure to
cracked up to
fallout may
be.
result in sickness or death. If someone dies as a result of the fallout,
It's really not a place you want to be unless you want to be an exploiter.
place it on the other side of the room. If possible, cover it with a blanket or fabric. After 14 days, you will be able to take the body outdoors and properly dispose of it. Pets should be euthanized.
Southeast Asian. My guess is Malaysian or Indonesian.
As possible. After 14 days, you will be able to properly dispose
Of course I'm still listening to this. It's nice ambiance.
Radios will notify you. Do not go outdoors unless you are told to. Fallout sticks to clothes, and stepping outdoors puts you in
Fallout sticks to clothes and napalm sticks to kids. Ah, you're a Moro. Oh, wait. Yeah. South Philippines. Moro area. literally derived from more. Scythia has conquered a lost city. Congratulations. As long as you leave us alone. I don't care how many lost cities you conquer. Ooh, look at all this land with nobody to claim it. Oh, Pakistan or Bangladesh. I'm just gonna guess Bangladesh. Bangladesh. I think you just like hearing me say Bangladesh. I'm pretty good at geography. I memorized the atlas when I was 8 years old. Oh. Guess you fuckers want to get conquered.
We interrupt this program. This is a national emergency. Important instructions will follow. The National Primary EAS system has issued a National Emergency Action Notification for the continental United States. This station has interrupted its regular program at the request of the U.S. government to participate in the emergency broadcast system. This is not a test. The National Primary EAS system has issued a National Emergency Action Notification for the continental United States. This station has interrupted its regular program at the request of the U.S. government to participate in the emergency broadcast system. This is not a test.
The following message is being delivered at the direction of the United States government. This is an attack warning. I repeat, this is an attack warning. An attack warning indicates that an attack on this country has been identified and that protective measures should be initiated. NORAD has detected the launch of 6 nuclear missiles. It has been verified that these missiles are directed towards the continental United States. This is not a test. It is anticipated that these
You guys think I'm joking when I say that I memorized the atlas when I was like 8. So, let's try. How many countries can I name? USA, Canada, Mexico, Bangladesh, Russia, Kazakhstan, Kyrgyzstan, Uzbekistan, Turkmenistan, Tajikistan, India, Sri Lanka, Palestine, unfortunately, Israel,
nor it is clear that
UAE,
continuous
gross.
effort to
Saudi
determine the
Arabia,
target. The U.S. National Missile Defense
gross.
System is
China,
currently being deployed to
Taiwan,
protect the country from incoming missiles.
Japan,
The Russian Federation has launched a
DPRK,
nuclear strike
South
against NATO
Korea,
states, triggering NATO Article 5 response.
Australia,
Attack on one is
Tuvalu,
an attack on all.
Pakistan,
The President of the United
Afghanistan,
States, alongside with NATO allies,
Vietnam,
has authorized a counterattack comprising the launch of
Laos,
intercontinental ballistic missiles
Cambodia,
targeting critical Russian
Indonesia,
targets. This will paralyze the
Tuvalu,
aggressor,
no,
preventing
already got
a
that one,
nuclear
Tonga,
retaliatory strike.
Solomon
This is
Islands,
a national emergency. American lives are in
Mongolia,
danger. Come and seek underground safety as quickly as possible. The
Sweden,
United States government is doing
Chad,
all necessary.
Cameroon, Madagascar, Tanzania, South
This is a
Africa,
follow-up to the previously issued national
Botswana,
emergency action notification.
Argentina, Brazil, Uruguay,
Local targets have been
Paraguay,
identified by NORAD/US Northcom.
Bolivia,
Incoming intercontinental ballistic
Chile,
missiles are expected
Peru,
to strike the United States in
Ecuador,
about 15 minutes. All
Colombia,
citizens residing within 100 miles of
Venezuela,
military bases, major industrial centers, and
Guyana,
infrastructures such as
Suriname,
dams,
Panama,
and water reservoirs in
Trinidad,
California, Nebraska,
and
Pennsylvania,
Tobago,
Ohio, Texas,
Grenada,
District of Columbia. If you
Jamaica,
reside in any of the potential targeted states,
Barbados,
seek underground shelter now.
Saint
This is an attack
Kitts and
Seek refuge
Nevis,
before countdown ends.
Saint Lucia,
It is too late to evacuate.
Guatemala,
Relocate to a basement or underground
Nicaragua,
on the ground level of a sturdy building.
Honduras,
Stand away from windows,
El
doors,
Salvador,
and exterior walls. Make as much space
Belize,
as possible between yourself and the outside world.
Costa
Carry a battery-powered radio with you to use throughout your
Rica.
stay at the shelter. Do not leave your shelter until it has been deemed safe.
missing a bunch of
You
Caribbean
will be
countries,
exposed to
Bahamas,
radioactive fallout if you leave. Fallout is the
more
result
African
of nuclear
countries,
explosion.
Sao
Sustained exposure can result
Tome
in illness or death.
and
Keep an eye on local
Principe,
news media for further updates.
Comoros, Mauritius, Mauritania, when they still have slavery, Egypt, Libya, Syria, Oman, Yemen, Jordan, Iraq, Kuwait, Qatar, Iran, Bahrain, Maldives, Lesotho, Swaziland, or Eswatini, Malawi, Mozambique, New Zealand, Ireland, Italy, France, Andorra, Spain, Portugal, San Marino, Monaco, Denmark, Netherlands, Norway, Finland, Poland, Latvia, Lithuania, Ukraine, Turkey, Lebanon, Cyprus, boo, Austria, Switzerland, Czech Republic or Czechia, Belgium, Luxembourg, Greece, Macedonia, North Macedonia, Bulgaria, Romania, Moldova, Transnistria, just joking, that's not a real country, Croatia, Serbia, Albania, Vatican, a couple, Slovakia, Slovenia, Morocco, Tunisia, Gabon, Nigeria, Gambia, Algeria, Mali, Congo, DRC, Republic of the Congo. Alright, drawing a few more blanks. Let's see how many more I can get. Rwanda, Burundi, Uganda, Kenya, Eritrea, Ethiopia, Somalia, Djibouti, Togo, Benin, Ivory Coast, Sierra Leone. Those aren't real countries. Liberia, Angola, Namibia, Zambia, Zimbabwe, South Sudan, CAR, Central African Republic, the most generic ass name, Singapore, Malaysia, Papua New Guinea.
This is an attack warning. I repeat, this is an attack warning.
Philippines.
An attack warning indicates that an actual attack on the United States has been
Vanuatu.
detected and that immediate protective measures should be taken. All residents of
Kiribati,
San Francisco, and Los Angeles should seek out a fallout shelter as soon as possible. If such a shelter is not available in your location, seek refuge in a basement or interior room on the lowest level of a sturdy structure.
Brunei,
Keep a battery-powered radio for use during your stay in the shelter.
Thailand,
Do not leave your shelter until it is declared safe to do so.
Bhutan,
If you leave your shelter, you may be exposing
Nepal.
yourself to radioactive fallout. Fallout is a byproduct of nuclear explosions. Prolonged exposure to fallout may result in sickness or death. If someone dies as a result of the fallout, remove the body outside of the inner shelter and place it on the other side of the room, if possible.
Alright, that's
Cover
all
it
I
with a
got.
blanket or
Let's
fabric.
see.
After 14 days, you will be able to take the body outdoors and properly
Damn.
dispose of it.
I forgot Haiti, the Dominican Republic. How the fuck did I forget Cuba?
They require further
Ghana?
resources, which you cannot afford to waste.
Still,
Take your pets outside
did
and
pretty well. I named 164 countries in less than 10 minutes.
able to properly
Alright,
dispose of the body.
let's go back to Russia.
When it is safe to go outdoors, radios will notify you. Do not go outdoors unless you are told to. Fallout sticks to clothes, and stepping outdoors puts you and your family in danger.
ERG has been proven to be a false internationalist. I know, how could I forget poor fucking Bosnia? And for being from St. Louis at that. I just had my St. Louis card revoked. St. Louis has the largest amount of Bosnians anywhere outside of Bosnia itself, for fuck's sake. How could I forget that? You're starting a socialist communist club at school and wanted to know if the name Free Students and Workers Club is cringe. Yes, please don't name it that. Why do people have all these workers clubs that don't have a single organic worker in it? Oh, That's animal abuse. You didn't have to shoot the horse. You could have shot the guy on the horse. Nobody wants to live in fucking Chicago. Did any of the Black Panther Party leaders ever visit the USSR? I don't think so. Quite a few did visit China, though. Yeah, quite a few ended up going to China. Huey actually went there after he was released from prison. And Eldridge Cleaver spent quite a bit of time in North Korea, actually. He had a daughter that was born there. Imagine being born in North Korea. That's a shitload of commie clout.
This is a national emergency. Important instructions will follow. The National Primary EAS system has issued a National Emergency Action Notification for the continental United States. This station has interrupted its regular program at the request of the U.S. government to participate in the emergency broadcast system. This is not a test.
Bro, your city is going to belong to my empire in a few minutes anyways, so I don't know why you keep with the fighting shit.
The National Primary EAS system
You cannot resist Mother Russia.
Emergency action notification for the continental United States. This station has interrupted its regular program at the request of the U.S. government to participate in the emergency broadcast system. This is not a test.
The following message is being delivered at the direction of the United States government. This is an attack warning. I repeat.
Yeah, I would not want to be
this is an
Eldridge Cleaver's son or daughter.
An attack warning indicates that an attack on this country has been identified and that protective measures should be initiated. NORAD has detected the launch of 6 nuclear missiles. It has been verified that these missiles are directed towards the continental United States. This is not a test. It is anticipated that these missiles will be armed with nuclear warheads. Since the targets are unknown at this time, all civilians in the United States are highly encouraged to remain calm and seek underground refuge. Make sure you have enough non-perishable canned meals and drinkable water for the next 14 days. When the threat is passed, an all-clear siren will sound. The all-clear siren will sound like an air raid siren. Once the all-clear siren is heard, it is permissible to go outdoors. Do not try to evacuate until you hear the all-clear siren. Radiation levels will be lethal. This broadcast shall deliver authenticated news and information on the situation to the American people in order to maintain transparency. NORAD is putting in a continuous effort to determine the missile's targets. The U.S. National Missile Defense System is currently being deployed to protect the country from incoming missiles. The Russian Federation has launched a nuclear strike against NATO states, triggering NATO Article 5 response. An attack on one is deemed an attack on all. The President of the United States, alongside with NATO allies, has
I kind of wonder how the hell Eldridge went from BPP member to conservative Republican. Drugs. Lots and lots of drugs, that's how.
Paralyze the aggressor, preventing a nuclear retaliatory strike. This is a national emergency. American lives are in danger. Remain calm and seek underground safety as quickly as possible. The United States government is doing all necessary to defend. This is a follow-up to the previously issued National Emergency Action Notification. Potential targets have been identified by NORAD/US Northcom. 6 incoming intercontinental ballistic missiles are expected to strike the United States in about 15 minutes. All citizens residing within 100 miles of military bases, major industrial centers, and key infrastructures such as power plants, dams, and water reservoirs in California, Nebraska, Pennsylvania, Ohio, Texas, and the District of Columbia. If you reside in any of the potential targeted states, seek underground shelter now. This is an attack warning. Seek refuge before countdown ends. It is too late to evacuate. Relocate to a basement or underground room on the ground level of a sturdy building. Stand away from windows, doors, and exterior walls. Make as much space as possible between yourself and the outside world. Carry a battery-powered radio with you to use throughout your stay at the shelter. Do not leave your shelter until it has been deemed safe. You will be exposed to radioactive fallout if you leave. Fallout is a result of nuclear explosions. Sustained exposure can result in illness or death. Keep an eye on local news media for further updates.
Good. No heretics allowed. Eldridge Cleaver was also a Mormon, by the way. He just took L after L after L after L ideologically. I wasn't even aware I had any troops by Ethiopia. Let's rebuild the mess you made.
Stand by for an automated message from the President of the United States.
My fellow Americans, it is with disbelief that I inform you that we are withdrawing all forces from the South China Sea, in preparation for a possible Russian invasion from the north.
Really? It took a literal fucking nuclear war to leave the South China Sea?
Minutes ago,
wow.
As British Columbia is bordered with Washington, Idaho, and Montana, I have ordered the immediate evacuation of these states. Our nation will do everything in their power to push the Russian offensive off the coast with our unmatched capabilities. Following a 2-hour conversation with Russian President on Ukraine, their president has assured me that Russia will work with the U.S. and coalition nations to avert a full-scale nuclear confrontation. However, they have not followed through on their Promises. We may not know Russia's cause on why they are doing this, but we will fight for our freedom until the very end. War is the remedy that Russia has chosen, and I say let us give them all they want. A short time ago, I ordered the United States Armed Forces to launch 15 thermonuclear gravity B-83s with additional 15 hypersonic nuclear missiles aimed at Russian cities and military assets. A joint operation including the military forces of France, the United Kingdom, and India is now underway. France, the United Kingdom and India have also fired 20 nuclear missiles aimed at Russian military sites. This unanticipated combined response will integrate all instruments of our national power and cripple half of Russia's potential to conduct counterattacks against Western countries. Russian counterattacks are expected in the next hours, but we are prepared to sustain this response. The U.S. has stealthily built large underground nuclear fallout shelters in most eastern cities decades ago. These advanced fallout shelters can hold up to 20,000 people and have supplies that will last up to 2 years. As soon as you receive this message, the National Guard and the Armed Forces has begun evacuation operations nationwide. Since the nuclear bunkers can only hold a maximum amount of people, the accommodation has been pre-selected by the U.S. government. If you have been chosen, the National Guard will lead you to evacuation. Everyone is advised to prepare a nuclear fall.
This is an attack warning. I repeat, this is an attack warning. This means that an actual attack has been detected against the United States, and that protective action is required. All residents of the continental United States are advised to seek out a fallout shelter now, and brace for impact. The North American Aerospace Defense Command has detected the launch of 40 nuclear missiles from Russia. These missiles are expected to impact the following locations in the next 6 to 8 minutes. Chicago, New York, Houston, Washington, D.C., Boston, Philadelphia, Las Vegas, Seattle, Nashville, Denver, Portland, Atlanta, Detroit, New Jersey, Fargo, Tampa, Salt Lake City, Oklahoma, and San Diego. These strikes are expected to destroy all of our major urban centers. Nuclear missiles have also targeted cities all across the world. A severe and prolonged global climatic nuclear winter will eventually ensue due to high nuclear radiation levels. A nuclear winter is a deadly period of darkness, famine, toxic gases, and sub-zero cold. Average global temperatures are expected to drop between 15 to 25 Celsius after the blast. The combined cooling and enhanced UV would put significant pressures on global food supplies and will trigger a global nuclear famine. Residents who are not in government nuclear fallout shelters are still encouraged to seek a fallout shelter. Move to a basement or interior room on the lowest level of a sturdy building. Stay away from windows, doors, and outside walls. Put as much space between you and the outside as possible. Take a battery-powered radio for use during your stay in the shelter.
I don't think that'll be a problem for you guys. Most of you all seem to already have as much divorce from you in the outside world as possible. When was the last time any of you fuckers bathed? Well, guess we cooked. It's pretty fun though.
If you are hearing this, you are one of the 15%, not by chance, but because you were chosen. The world we once knew is gone, reduced to ashes, its cities crumbled, its landmarks erased. The scars of our folly are etched upon the very fabric of our planet, as radioactive isotopes linger like spectral reminders of the horrors we wrought upon ourselves. We, the remnants of a species that once prided itself on its intellect and compassion, stand on the precipice of a new dawn. An estimated 85% of the world's population succumbed to the war and the consequences of it. 7.5 billion souls wiped off the face of the earth in the space of just 5 years. a cruel, silent testament to the destructive power we unleashed upon ourselves. Yet in the charred embers of destruction, a glimmer of hope persists. We have emerged from the darkness, battered and bruised but not broken. We stand on the precipice of a new dawn, a great reset, an opportunity to forge a future free from the mistakes of the past. The war that decimated our world was a tragedy of unimaginable proportions. It consumed countless lives, leaving behind a void that will forever haunt our collective memory. But perhaps amidst the carnage there lies a hidden blessing, for the burgeoning population of our planet had become a burden too heavy to bear. Now, with the horrors we have endured, the threat of overpopulation has been extinguished.
Oh, wow. This is pretty
We must learn-
fashy. That's pretty fashy. Your Majesty, there's a second boss coming. What are we going to do, my lord? Oh, the Nubians are colonizing Europe. How to turn tables. BRG actually isn't playing an ambience video. This is just what St. Louis sounds like. Wow, that was kind of racist, buddy. It only sounds like that around New Year's and 4th of July. Somebody asked me to do the flags of the world, so I found this. Let's give this a try now. Alright. Mauritius, Ukraine, Poland, Malaysia, Luxembourg, Djibouti, Guyana, Latvia. These are old. Norway, DRC, Sri Lanka, San Marino, Netherlands, Cambodia, New Zealand, Australia, Ecuador, Colombia, Ecuador. Wow, it's amazing how fast all this shit is coming back to me. Okay. Ew. Philippines, Marshall Islands, Bulgaria, Kyrgyzstan, Tanzania, South Korea, Tonga, Armenia, Angola, Japan, India, Pakistan, Italy, Laos, Tuvalu, Uganda, Bosnia, and Herzegovina, EPRK, Kenya, Grenada, Fiji, Rwanda, Jordan, Ethiopia, Algeria, Papua New Guinea, Dominican Republic, Belgium, Azerbaijan, Comoros, Denmark, Ghana, Portugal, Iceland, Brunei, Peru, Eritrea, got that one. I don't fucking know. There. I got 98% of the countries of the world's flags correct. Et voila. Back to building Russia. Yeah, BRG isn't as dumb as I look. The last one was Sudan. I probably knew that by heart at one point. What's up, hillbilly? Say hello to my pet redneck. Oh, fuck off. Yep, guess I gotta go see what this colored feller's up to. DSA Redneck Caucus win. No, this is an ambient thing. Hold on. You're sleeping during the 2027 American Civil War, Trump versus Biden. So what's the difference between a hillbilly and a redneck? A hillbilly is far less likely to give a shit that their neighbor is black than a redneck is. I'll be back. I haven't had a cigarette in 2 hours, and I'm feeling it. I'm back. Never take up smoking. That's my frequent injunction. This just looks going to be the same fucking gunshots and shit on loop.
So for those of you who are still fortunate enough to have access to some form of public broadcasting, we're going to listen now to the speech given by the president just an hour or so ago. It was the president's first public statement in nearly 3 weeks. His whereabouts was unknown after the White House was destroyed by an airstrike on the 20th
Start
of July.
another game.
However, he is alive and well, so here it is.
My fellow Americans, in the face of unprecedented adversity, we stand at the precipice.
Hey, we got a hillbilly president.
The world
Oh, what's
has
up, Trey?
been plunged into the abyss
My brother
of
from
World War
Vermont.
III, an unyielding conflict that has tested our nation to its core. Our shores have been battered by relentless attacks, our cities reduced to smoldering ruins. Famine
Yay!
and disease stalk our lands, leaving millions in their wake. The air we breathe is thick with the stench of chaos and despair.
Yep.
But amidst this darkness, a flicker of hope remains. The evils that have brought us to this brink will not prevail. America, alongside our steadfast allies, will rise from the ashes and lead the world into a new era.
Should I play as America?
We have
Yeah,
witnessed
fucking I'll
the
play as
horrors that
America.
Russia,
I am American
China,
after all.
Iran, North Korea,
Unfortunately.
and their ilk have unleashed upon our world.
And they're
They
ilk.
seek to impose their tyrannical rule, snuffing out the flames of freedom and democracy.
Shut up.
But their ambitions will be met with an unyielding resistance. Our armed forces, the bravest and most capable in human history, stand ready to defend our nation and its values. They will fight with unwavering resolve until victory is ours.
No, they won't.
Our scientists and engineers are tirelessly working to develop new technologies that will give us an edge over our adversaries.
Ow.
And our citizens, united in spirit, will endure the hardships that lie ahead. We must not allow the devastation that has been wrought upon our country to break our resolve. The millions who have perished in this conflict will not have died in vain. Their sacrifice will serve as a testament to the indomitable spirit of the American people. From the ashes of this war, a new world
Abraham Lincoln was far uglier in real
Old
life, by the way.
systems and institutions that have failed us will be swept away, replaced by a better, more just, and more equitable society.
A military
The great
dictatorship?
reset for mankind will usher in an unprecedented era of prosperity. and
Plantations
progress.
give -2 loyalty
The
per turn.
path ahead will be fraught with challenges. Millions, perhaps billions, will perish before this conflict is over. The Earth's population will be reduced to a fraction of what it once was, but the human race will live on, stronger and more resilient than ever before.
It will be
A new
communist.
system will arise, a system based on the principles of liberty, equality, and the rule of law.
So
It will be
communism?
a system that values human life above all else. A system
Communism.
that ensures that the horrors of war will never be repeated.
Communism.
My fellow Americans, the road ahead will be arduous, but we must not falter. We are the inheritors of a great legacy, a legacy of freedom, democracy, and innovation. We are the beacon of hope for a better future. Together, we will prevail against the darkness. Together, we will build a new world, a world that is worthy of the sacrifices that have been made. And so let us go forth with courage, determination, and unwavering faith in the destiny of our nation. May God bless America, and may God bless the world.
So, there you have it. Probably a lot shorter than you would have expected. A lot of issues he didn't address in any great detail. However, his Chief of Staff, Howard Mitchell, had this to say to the American people.
The world as we knew it is gone. War has come to our shores, and with it, famine, disease, and unimaginable hardship. We are facing a crisis unlike any we've seen before, a true World War III. Fear, uncertainty, and despair are all around us, but I urge you, do not give in to them. Now more than ever, we need to stand together as one nation, united in our resolve to survive and rebuild. I know many of you are facing unimaginable losses, be it loved ones, homes, or livelihoods. But remember this, we are Americans, and we have faced adversity before, We have overcome impossible odds, and
The
we
river
will do
loves the
so
fucking flood,
again.
huh?
Here are the things we must do now. First, we must prioritize safety. Stay informed about the situation in your area and follow the instructions of local authorities. Seek shelter in designated safe zones and be prepared to evacuate if necessary. Second, we need to come together as communities. Help your neighbors, check on the elderly and vulnerable, and share what resources you can. In times of crisis, unity is our greatest strength. Third, we must be prepared for the long haul. This will not be a quick war. We must conserve food and water, maintain basic sanitation, and prepare for the possibility of prolonged hardships. Fourth, we need to hold on to hope. Despair is a powerful enemy, but it will not break us. Remember the resilience of our nation, the strength of our people. We are Americans, and we will rise to meet this challenge. The road ahead will be difficult, filled with uncertainty.
During a civil
and
breakdown
sacrifice,
situation,
but
Americans will be
together
busy
we
fighting
will
over fucking
overcome
treats.
this. Together, we will rebuild. Together, we will emerge stronger and more united than ever before. This is not the end. This is a new beginning. Let us face this challenge with courage, resilience, and faith in ourselves and in each other. God bless America.
Okay, so some words of advice there for the American people from Chief of Staff Howard Mitchell. We're going to listen now to what British Prime Minister Benjamin Cutcliffe said in his speech to the British public a few moments ago.
In this darkest hour, as the fires of war continue to ravage our once great land and the shadows of destruction hang heavy in the air, I address you with a heart filled with both sorrow and unwavering determination. The enemy has unleashed its vile fury upon our shores, leaving behind a trail of devastation that has shattered lives and broken hearts. Our cities, once vibrant and bustling, now lie in ruins, scarred by the relentless bombardment. Our homes, the havens of our families, have been reduced to mere rubble. But amidst the despair, amidst the wreckage and the pain, a fierce flame burns within us, a flame of defiance, a flame of hope. We will not be broken. We will not surrender. I know that many of you are filled with fear and uncertainty. The enemy has sought to crush our spirit, to make us bow to their tyrannical reign. But I assure you, their efforts will be in vain. We are Britain. We are a nation of resilience, of courage, and of indomitable will. We have faced adversity before, and we have always emerged victorious. And we shall do so again. I give you my solemn word that we will not rest until every last invader has been driven from our shores. We will pursue them relentlessly with all the might and determination at our disposal. To our enemies I say this: you have underestimated our resolve, you have underestimated the strength of the British people, you have underestimated the power of freedom and democracy. You may have inflicted great pain upon us, but you have failed to break our spirit. We will rise from the ashes, stronger than ever before. And when this war is over, when the dust settles and the echoes of battle fade into silence, we will build a new world, a world free from tyranny, a world free from oppression, a world where peace and justice reign supreme. This will be a great reset for the human race. We will learn from the mistakes of the past and create a future worthy of our children and grandchildren. A future where every life is valued, where every voice is heard, where every person has the opportunity to reach their full potential. We will rebuild our cities, our homes, and our lives. We will create a society that is more just, more equitable, and more compassionate than ever before. We will not let the sacrifices of those who have fallen be in vain. We will honor their memory by building a better world, a world that is worthy of their sacrifice. My fellow Britons, the road ahead will be long and arduous, but we will not waver, we will not falter, we will prevail. Together we will forge a new destiny for our nation. and for the world. Together, we will build a better future for ourselves and for
Listening
generations to
to
come.
this ambient thing.
The
It's
British
World War
Prime
III. You're
Minister
listening to
there
the
pretty
radio
much
on a
echoing the
rainy
words of
night.
our own president. Similar speeches coming from leaders all over the world as the tide of war shifts once again and the enemy seems to gain the upper hand. The message is one of defiance and resilience. Okay, now we're going to talk to Ernie Statefold. He is a military expert who served in Iraq and Afghanistan, and he is here to go through some of the possibilities or the
What, you think I've fallen through like some type of weird loop into a parallel universe where this is actually happening?
So Ernie, welcome to the show. Where can you see all this going?
Well, Sarah, this is a pivotal moment, a crossroads. We've seen the unthinkable, the use of tactical nuclear weapons, and the civilian toll is staggering. Millions lost,
The
cities
Russians.
reduced to rubble. The world is
Always the
a very different place now.
Russians.
Indeed. What's the strategic landscape like now?
The Axis powers, Russia, China, Iran, and North Korea, have made significant gains. They've pushed deep into Europe and the Pacific. However, the U.S. and its allies are fighting fiercely. The fight is brutal, but they're holding strong. Despite the losses, the Western powers have a technological advantage. They can leverage precision-guided munitions and cyber warfare.
But with the escalation of nuclear weapons, are we headed toward a full-scale nuclear war?
That's the terrifying possibility, Sarah. The use of tactical nuke that has already crossed the line. But there's a critical element the Axis powers are overlooking. They're fighting a global superpower with a global network of allies. The U.S. has a vast nuclear arsenal, and the world knows they'll use it if threatened.
So there's a chance for diplomacy. Is there any hope for a negotiated settlement?
It's a long shot, Sarah. But the global community, the UN, needs to act decisively. We need to create a space for dialogue, for de-escalation. This conflict, if it continues, will consume every nation. It's time to put aside differences and realize that humanity, our very survival, is at stake.
Powerful words. Thanks for your perspective.
Thank you, Sarah. May sanity prevail.
So talking of the United Nations, the Secretary General of the United Nations, Antonio Lombardi, gave us an update on the current state of things around the world, if we needed any reminding. But he spoke a bit about what the United Nations is doing to try and bring an end to this. Many, however, fear that we are well past dialogue and it is a case of last nation standing, and I would have to agree with that, but let's listen to what the Secretary General had to say.
Friends, brothers and sisters of the world, we stand at a precipice carved by the relentless tide of conflict, a precipice that threatens to engulf us all. This is not a war fought on distant battlefields, but a war that bleeds into every corner of our planet. It is a war of famine gnawing at the bellies of millions, a war of disease sweeping through our communities, a war of human suffering that leaves no soul untouched. We have, in this moment, witnessed the unimaginable, the specter of nuclear war. Once a distant nightmare has risen from the shadows, casting its chilling shadow over us all. The very tools of our destruction, weapons of unimaginable power, hang precariously above our heads, a constant reminder of the fragile nature of our existence. This conflict is not a battle between nations, but a war against humanity itself. It is a war against our values, against our shared future, against the very fabric of our civilization. As we stand here today, the very foundations of our world are crumbling, and the cries of the innocent echo through the halls of history. Yet, even in the face of such darkness, a flicker of hope remains. A hope that we can rise above this, that we can reject the path of destruction and choose the path of peace. We must, as a global community, come together, not as nations, but as one human family. We need a ceasefire, not just of bullets and bombs, but of hate and prejudice. We need a dialogue not of threats and accusations, but of understanding and empathy. We need a commitment to diplomacy, not a scramble for military dominance. The path ahead is not easy. It will require sacrifices, it will demand courage, and it will test the very limits of our collective will. But let us remember, the path of peace is the only path to a future worthy of our children. The end of this war would spark the beginning of a new world, a world built on the foundations of justice, equity, and sustainable development. A world that embraces diversity, respects human rights, and protects our planet. Let us rise to this challenge. Let us build a world where peace is not just an aspiration, but a reality. Let us create a new world order based on shared responsibility, mutual respect, and the unwavering belief in the inherent dignity of every human being. This is our moment. This is our responsibility. This is our chance to rewrite the narrative of humanity, to leave behind the shadows of war and step into the light of a brighter future. Let us seize this opportunity. Let us choose peace, and let us build a new world together.
That was the United Nations Secretary General there, Antonio Lombardi. All sounds good in theory, but, well, never mind. So the war rages on with the death toll worldwide estimated to be 42 million after only 6 weeks of fighting. Remember that the Second World War claimed the lives of about 75 million people over 6 years. So this is on a scale like we have never seen, and not forgetting that nuclear weapons have not been used in their full capacity as of yet, but many fear it is only a matter of time before they are. Now, India has not gotten directly involved in the wars yet, but they haven't ruled it out. They have directed their anger towards America and its allies, saying they have brought the war on themselves and dragged the rest of the world into it with them. India has not publicly stated its support for the Axis powers, but the words of India's Prime Minister Advika Abhisheki will not reassure the West.
As the flames of war engulf the globe, casting a long and ominous shadow upon our world, I stand before you today with a heavy heart, compelled to address the dire situation that has befallen us. The thunder of artillery and the screams of the innocent echo in our ears, reminding us of the fragility of peace and the devastating consequences of war. In this maelstrom of violence, we have witnessed the unleashing of unspeakable atrocities, war crimes that defy the very fabric of human decency. And to our dismay, the United States of America, once hailed as a beacon of freedom and justice, has stood by as a silent accomplice. For decades, America has preached to the world the virtues of democracy and human rights, while simultaneously waging wars of aggression that have left countless dead and shattered nations. The blood of the innocent stains the hands of America, from the ravaged fields of Vietnam to the decimated cities of Iraq. Now, as the world teeters on the brink of nuclear annihilation, America's hypocrisy is laid bare for all to see. They condemn the actions of our adversaries, yet they themselves have engaged in acts of unspeakable barbarism. They invoke the mantle of morality, while their own actions betray their true nature. The serpents in the Vatican have also played a sinister role in this unfolding tragedy. Hiding behind the veil of piety, they have fanned the flames of religious intolerance and sowed seeds of division among nations.
I love The Sopranos.
In the war cannot be denied. And let us not forget the European Union, once a symbol of unity and prosperity, now a fractured and indecisive entity, full of overpaid bureaucrats that have allowed this conflict to escalate unchecked, endangering the lives of millions. India has thus far remained neutral in this conflict, but let it be known that our patience is wearing thin. We will not stand idly by as the world descends into chaos. If necessary, we will take up arms in defense of our people and our values. We will not be swayed by the empty rhetoric of those who have brought us to this perilous precipice. We will not sacrifice our sovereignty or our principles on the altar of foreign aggression. As we navigate these treacherous times, we must not lose sight of our humanity. We must strive to build bridges of understanding rather than erecting walls of division. We must reject the path of violence and embrace the principles of peace and dialogue. I urge all nations to come together and put an end to this senseless bloodshed. Let us work towards a just and lasting resolution that respects the sovereignty of all nations and upholds the fundamental rights of all people. The future of our world hangs in the balance. Let us choose wisely and let us choose peace.
That was the Indian Prime Minister there, certainly not mincing her words. So we've been getting reactions from leaders all over the world. It'd be interesting to hear a statement from one of the Axis powers. It's been a while, but they are keeping tight-lipped and letting their weaponry do the talking. Meanwhile, down under in Australia, they experienced their first real taste of World War III 2 days ago, when Sydney, Melbourne, and Perth were all hit by Chinese airstrikes in quick succession. This came after the Australian Prime Minister Cameron Begley called the Chinese government, quote, a gang of Kremlin-loving, noodle-slurping, dog-munching mini-Hitlers before formally severing ties with the country. Less than 72 hours later, the first wave of Chinese airstrikes hit Australia, killing more than 11,000 people in the cities of Sydney, Melbourne, and Perth. The Australian Prime Minister had this to say in the aftermath of the strikes.
In this darkest of hours, as the very foundations of our nation tremble beneath the weight of unprovoked and barbaric aggression, I stand before you with a heart filled with
Unprovoked. You literally used every. You literally used every fucking racial slur in the book.
China upon our cities have left an unspeakable scar upon our land, a scar that will forever serve as a grim reminder of the depravity of our enemies. Sydney, our vibrant and cosmopolitan metropolis, has been reduced to a smouldering ruin. The iconic Sydney Opera House, once a symbol of cultural heritage, now lies shattered. Its graceful curves replaced by jagged shards of glass and twisted metal. The streets that once teemed with life are now silent and deserted, save for the heart-wrenching cries of those who have lost loved ones. In Melbourne, the cultural heart of our nation, the vibrant streets of Fitzroy and the bustling laneways of the CBD have been transformed into scenes of utter devastation. University of Melbourne, a beacon of knowledge and enlightenment, has been reduced to rubble. Its centuries-old facade now a shattered testament to the brutality of our foes. Perth, our gateway to the west, has been mercilessly pounded by relentless airstrikes. The stately buildings of St George's Terrace are now nothing more than twisted wreckage, and the once pristine Swan River has been stained crimson with the blood of innocents. Thousands of our fellow Australians have been mercilessly slaughtered in these cowardly attacks. Families have been torn apart, children have been orphaned, and the fabric of our society has been irreparably damaged. The carnage left by these strikes is testament to the heartless and inhumane nature of our adversaries. But let me be clear, Australia will not be cowed by this act of unspeakable violence. We will not succumb to fear or despair. Instead, we will rise from the ashes of this tragedy with an unyielding determination to avenge the innocent lives that have been lost. To the Chinese regime, I say this: you have made a grave mistake. You have underestimated the resolve of the Australian people. We are a nation built on resilience and determination. We have faced adversity before and we have always emerged stronger. This time will be no different. We will rebuild our cities, we will mourn our dead, and we will never forget the atrocities that have been committed against us. And when the time comes, we will exact a terrible vengeance upon those responsible for this heinous crime. To the world I say this: we must not stand idly by while evil men commit acts of unspeakable brutality. The international community must condemn these actions in the strongest possible terms and hold the Chinese regime accountable for its war crimes. Australia has always been a force for good in the world. We have fought for freedom and democracy, and we have stood up for the rights of the oppressed. We will not allow our way of life to be destroyed by a tyrannical regime that seeks to impose its own twisted ideology upon the world. Together, we will prevail. Together, we will rebuild our nation and restore it to its former glory. And together, we will ensure that those who have committed these atrocities are brought to justice.
I'm sorry, but does he always talk like that? I don't know if he's grief-stricken or what, but God, his voice is so boring, I almost dozed off. The Australian Prime Minister there, talking about the Chinese airstrikes on Australia 2 days ago. The Chinese responded by saying that Australia should, quote, reassess their capabilities in terms of military power and stop flexing what they do not have. Meanwhile, in other parts of the world, the war has left millions.
Yo, what is up, people? DJ Apocalypse here, y'all. DJ Apocalypse, rocking shit, rocking hips. The DJ nibbling on them BJ lips and spanking all the wobbly bits. Welcome back to the show, y'all. I hope y'all keeping safe from the crazy ass shit going. Everybody's having to pop at us. The Chinese, the Russians, Iranians, the North Koreans, and that crazy Lego hair mofo. Indian are getting nasty too. I heard that Anika, whatever her name is, the Indian Prime Minister, this in U.S. y'all, on foreign policies and shit, but like, yeah, we done some bad shit, y'all, but that girl was way out of line. Somebody need to go over to India, the ambassador or whatever, and say, yeah, listen up, y'all, stop running your mouth, or we will foobar the shit out of this place.
What?
And then just like bitch slap one of their ministers across the face. That's the sort of foreign policy we need to be dishing out, y'all. No, but seriously, you know, your boy DJ Apocalypse, I am a man of love, of peace, of forgiveness, y'all. What I mean is we need to do all I just said in a diplomatic way. Say diplomatic bitch slap, a diplomatic food bar job, y'all. We don't need no India getting involved too. Like, damn, 1.5 million.
This sounds like a white dude
are already
trying to
dead
speak
since
about
shit
us.
kicked off, y'all. And that ain't even including the people who have starved to death or been killed in the riots and looting or died from disease. That is some crazy shit, y'all. So we don't need no Indians getting our backs too. But anyway, like I said, I hope y'all keeping safe. I'm doing okay. I got my stash. I'm making last. I'm having a blast. And, you know, I was one of those who didn't give the shiniest mother loving shit about prepping for this type of scenario before it kicked off, and lo and behold, I'm actually doing okay. Obviously, the big man is looking out for me. Much respect. Shout out to the big man up there. You know, I'm still playing my tunes, y'all. They keep my sanity intact. I suggest you do the same, y'all, if you have the means to do so. Keep blasting out those tunes.
Y'all.
Carry on. Be strong. Be there for whoever needs you. Love, man. That's the key. I can't stress that enough. You stick love into this equation, and this shit is finished tomorrow, y'all. I guarantee you that this shit would be finished tomorrow because it's greed and hate that is driving this shit, y'all. Greed and hate. Simple as that. There's no need to start getting all philosophical on my ass about this shit. Talking about the nature of the human condition and all that shit to explain this. Greed and hate. That's all it is, man. Greed and hate. Power too. I forgot that one, but power is greed. I don't have hate for people, not even towards the Chinese, the Russians, the Iranians, the North Koreans, whoever else wants to blow the shit out of us. The only hate I have is for hate itself, and because of that, my life is filled with love, but I hate the hate within people, not the person themselves. I hate the greed in the person, not the person themselves, because we all done some bad shit in our lives, y'all. You can't say you haven't, and I've hated others in the past. I've been bitter in the past, been angry, been jealous, and let me tell you, that shit gets you nowhere. Fill your heart and your mind with love. Pray to the big man. He always listens to y'all, even in these darkest times, y'all. This is a mess of our own making, not his. Free will, y'all. That's what we got, and we do with it what we please. We use it for good or evil. It's up to you. You decide, y'all. Now, let's hope that all this shit will ensue. Let's hope that love prevails, and let's listen to some good-ass tunes while we're at it. We got a bit of Phoenix Street, y'all, with lust for war.
Our civilization, the ideals we hold dear, the very air we breathe are under assault. This is not a conflict of ideology, a clash of political systems, or a battle for resource. This is a war for our very survival. A darkness has fallen upon Europe. For decades, we have witnessed the rise of authoritarianism, of nations driven by a thirst for power and expansion. Now, that darkness has manifested in a brutal, merciless war waged by Russia, China, Iran, and North Korea. Their bombs rain down on our cities, our homes, our families. Their weapons of destruction leave behind scars that will take generations to heal. We have seen this before. The echoes of another dark age resonate in our hearts. Hitler and his Nazi regime, seeking domination, unleashed their fury upon Europe. We fought back, united in our defiance against tyranny, and we prevailed. The world remembers the resilience of the human spirit, the courage of those who stood against evil. Today, we face a new enemy, just as ruthless and deadly, but we are not a generation of cowards. We are the children of those who fought for freedom, who held fast in the face of unimaginable horrors. We will not surrender to fear. We will not surrender to despair. We see the devastation wrought by Russia and China. Their bombs have turned our cities into rubble, our streets into rivers of blood. We hear the cries of the innocent, the screams of the wounded, the silence of those who are gone. And with each passing day, the threat of nuclear annihilation looms larger. But we must not succumb to despair. We are not alone in this fight. We stand shoulder to shoulder with our allies, united in our purpose. We stand for freedom, for democracy, for the very future of humanity. The threat is real. The stakes are high, but we have faced challenges before and we have overcome. We are Europeans and we are not afraid. We will fight for our families, for
We
our
are
values,
Europeans
for our
and we
very
are not
existence.
afraid.
We will remember those who have fallen and we will honor their sacrifice. We will rise from the ashes stronger and more determined than ever. We will survive, we will rebuild, and we will ensure that the light of freedom will never be extinguished. For Europe, for humanity, we will prevail.
Okay, Baptiste, nice talking to you. We stand firmly with our French allies, and like you said, we will
Gonna freestyle this shit, y'all. Here we go. Red alert, siren scream, world on fire, a dystopian dream. Left, right, woke, the labels fade. When the bombs fall, ain't nobody saved. Cities crumble, concrete dust, a generation lost, turn to rust. The apocalypse is here. The final act, the curtains close. No turning back. World War III, the ultimate game. Where winners are none, ain't nobody to blame. We built this tower, built it high. Now it's crashing down. Watch the sky, nuclear winter, freezing cold, the world's a tomb, a story untold. Maybe it's better, maybe it's right to start again from the ashes of night. The internet's gone. No more debate, just the silence of the world's fate. No more tweets, no more likes, just the echo of explosions burning bright.
Shut up.
The East is in flames, millions dead there too. We've got famine, disease, pestilence. India is going to kick off soon too. The stands of the world, Uzbekistan, Afghanistan, Turkmenistan, war raging there too. Wars within a war, civil wars, wars between nations. And apparently the Axis powers are starting to get the upper hand. They've taken large swaths of Europe, but the battles for other major cities in Europe continue to rage on. Paris, London, Berlin, Madrid, Rome have still not been taken, but there is talk of massacres occurring as Chinese, Iranian, and North Korean infantry units make their way through towns and villages in Europe. People are being lined up and shot or doused in gasoline and burned alive, and being buried in mass graves according to reports. Hundreds of millions of people worldwide are trying to escape the conflict zones. It's a mass migration of people in all directions searching for a safe haven, but unfortunately there isn't one. As you know, tactical nukes have been used by all sides, including the United States. Actually, we were the first to use them, but neither side has resorted to strategic nukes as of yet. If you're wondering what's the difference between the two, tactical and strategic nukes, well, so was I. So I did a little bit of reading up on them, and so strategic nuclear weapons are generally aimed at destroying the enemy, utterly, like wiping out cities, all that stuff. Whereas tactical nukes are intended to be used against specific targets you want to destroy as part of a military campaign. Air bases, troop concentrations, command centers, that sort of thing. So we definitely don't want strategic nukes getting involved. That could spell the end for everybody. Hence the reason why nobody has used them yet. Neither side is willing to take the risk, because if they wipe out an entire city with one, the other side will come back and do the same to them, and so on until eventually we're left with a nuclear wasteland. So let's hope nobody is stupid enough to use one of them. I always imagined World War III would last like 2 days or something, maybe even just a few hours, but obviously not. This has basically turned into a war of attrition. And the scary part is, well, it's all freaking scary, but our very own president said himself that by the time all this is finished, the population will be not, could be, but will be reduced to a fraction of its former amount. He mentioned billions of people dying by the end of this, billions. I don't know if that will be from the war directly or indirect consequences of the war, like famine, disease, all that, but either way, this whole thing is gonna get even more ugly. And what the hell are they talking about in all their speeches? Building a new world after it's all finished. A reset or whatever seems a bit presumptuous to me. Or do they know something we don't? Now call them conspiracy theorists or whatever, but a lot of people are saying they are all in cahoots. Like all of them, Russia, China, Iran, North Korea, our very own United States of America, our allies, they're all in cahoots together, that this is all a big show, they all planned it. The shadow government, the puppet masters, they have orchestrated this to bring the population down. They needed a war, and they will never use strategic nukes, because why would they destroy the Earth when they plan to live on it themselves in their perfect utopian world of the future or whatever? But yeah, that's what a lot of people think. This is a way of driving the population down, and drive it down dramatically through the war, which has already killed millions in just 6 weeks. Through famine, through disease, get the population way down, then the Great Reset will begin. The new world. Now that is just a theory. I'm not saying it's true or that I believe it, although it would not surprise me. But it's an interesting perspective and definitely something worth thinking about, especially when our very own president is saying that billions will die before it's finished. And he said it with a certainty in his voice. Anyway, I'm not going to get into all that right now, otherwise I'll just end up down the rabbit hole of my own brain and start ranting for hours on end. So let's just focus on what we do know for certain. The president is a reptilian alien from the planet my anus. No, just kidding. The main news coming through at the moment is that Canada has suffered a wave of unprecedented strikes in the last couple minutes. We don't know as yet by who. If it's the Chinese or the, well, let's face it, it probably is the Chinese. They're hitting cities around the world like a giant game of whack-a-mole. So that's the latest news. Canada has been hit by a wave of strikes for the second time. Although the first time it happened 2 weeks ago, it was apparently by accident. Yes, hit by accident 32 times. So I'm not exactly sure what parts of Canada have been hit.
And millions try and flee Europe as the Chinese wave pushes forward. But there have been gains on Chinese
People are
territory
fleeing
also.
Europe.
So it's not all bad news. The Allies have taken the port city of Bahia on China's southwest coast, a move the Chinese were not expecting, and more Allied reinforcements are expected in the coming hours. Canada continues to be hit by Chinese and Iranian strikes. The cities of Vancouver, Toronto, Winnipeg, and Calgary have all been hit in the last 20 to 30 minutes. Canadian and Iranian relations took a nosedive a few months before the war, when Canada listed Iran's Revolutionary Guards as a terrorist group. The Canadian Prime Minister is yet to make a statement, but we are expecting to hear one in the next while. Millions are attempting to flee the Middle East, as well as the
AI is so fucking amazing.
its
Like,
most intense fighting since the start of the war.
you can tell that
Beirut
this shit
has
is
been
developing,
decimated
but
by
it's
Israeli
still fucking,
strikes.
like, you
Meanwhile,
can still tell
Israeli
it's not real.
forces and allied troops have crossed the Iranian border in an attempt to push through the country and take Tehran. The United Nations...
Many are saying that these strategic nukes will never be used. I do not believe that for a moment. I think it's only a matter of time before one of them are. And I honestly think that those who are saying they won't be used are absolute morons. I mean, think about it. At some point in this war, the Allied powers or the Axis powers are going to be on the brink of destruction. One side will get the upper hand to the point that the other side is just a crumbling deck of cards. What will the side that's crumbling have to lose? Nothing exactly. And that's when they will use them When all else has failed, they will use them. But you heard the president for yourself. He said that billions would die before it's over. And that's not going to happen with tactical nuclear strikes, only strategic nuclear weapons. So if he is saying that himself, he knows that eventually that's what's going to happen. It's going to capitulate into all-out nuclear war. Eventually,
Capitulate
and
into
then
all-out
when the
nuclear
famine and
war.
disease that
I need to give this thing a
we're
damn
already
dictionary.
experiencing is multiplied by 20. Then before you know it, 90% of the world's population is no more. So that's my warning to you. They will be used. What else is going to happen? If the Axis powers are on the brink of losing, you think they're going to turn around and say, oops, sorry about all that killing we did. Let's just pretend that nothing happened and just get on with our lives. No,
That's
the
what America
Allied
would have
powers
us
will
do.
finish them off, annihilate them, and vice versa. If the Allies are on the brink of losing, do you think the Axis powers are going to say, okay, that's enough? No, they will do the same. They will finish them off. So in other words, this is a fight to the death. Last man standing, last nation standing, last empire or whatever standing. So that's my warning. Don't listen to the idiots that are saying that strategic nuclear weapons will not be used. Of course they will be. So stop sitting around waiting for all this to go away. It won't. Get underground into a bunker if you can. And if you can't, for God's sake, at least get yourself to an isolated part of the country, away from the cities, because they will be hit first. And if you get out of them, you are giving yourself half a chance at least. But eventually with the fallout, nowhere will be safe. But let's just hope it's just us that's nuking them, and not them that's nuking us, but the most likely scenario will be all sides nuking each other. This will be the culmination of what we're seeing right now. What is it? The death toll worldwide. I believe it's like 42 or 3 million. That's nothing. That is nothing. That's a skirmish in comparison to what we are going to see. And, you know, I really hate to be the bearer of bad news. I really do. But that's the reality of the situation. There's no point in hiding from it. I have done all I can do my side. I have stocked up on enough supplies to last 3 years. I do not have a bunker. And
What
that
is wrong
is
with you?
something I should have invested in for myself and my family many years ago. That is something I regret, but I am as prepared as I can be for what is coming down the line. And it is not too late for you yet, but very soon it will be. Listen to me, start putting some plans in place to secure or heighten the percentages of survival for you and your loved ones right now. Not tomorrow, right now. Time is running out. Remember, before all this happened and people were saying World War III was going to kick off, were you one of those who said, nah, it's not going to happen? Well, look where we are now. Get prepared while you still can. That's all I can say. I am no Nostradamus, but I don't need to
Nostradamus.
see what's coming.
On
And
that
you ought
end,
to see.
to that end, that's enough of that shit. Jesus, 3 hours. Guess I'm building up my stamina, but I gotta go. I've got business.